All right, guys, we'll get started in 1 minute. Where is everybody? This is like, did we empty the place out? What is going on? Scared them away the first time, I guess. Did everybody leave after lunch? Is that actually, did a lot of people leave? I was going to say, I didn't see as many people coming back in. Wow, okay. All right, bring it in, 30-second warning. We'll get going here. You guys know what class you're in, right? Yes. How to get listings or something to that? There you go, 10. I'll make sure we hit that on the dot. I joke, but someone here will leave a bad review, and they'll say, he did 11, and he said it was 10. So if you're that person, find another class now. Based on what I see here, there's probably room. Come on in, guys. Come on in. How was lunch? Good? Some of us are still eating it. Nice. What was it, box lunches? All right. Whew. Bring it in, guys. Bring it in. Oh, it's like they just let the bus off. Come on in, guys. Have a seat. Did the bus just deliver? Where's all these people coming from? What just happened here? Come on in, guys.
How long are you staying in Canada for?
10 hours.
Oh, okay.
I already checked in for my flight home, and I haven't left here yet.
Oh.
Yeah. It's kind of depressing if you think about it, but. All right, so guys, you guys taking notes? Yes? All right. All of these slides I'm going to give you 100% free. I'm going to send them out to you guys so you'll have everything here, okay? Take a lot of notes, though. They did a study. They found that you remember 10% of what you hear, okay? You remember 30% of what you hear and write down, and you remember 70% of what you hear, write down, and teach to someone else. So what do you think we should do as a result of being here today? Write it down, right? Listen, write it down, and teach it to somebody else, okay? Come on in, guys. Grab a seat. Grab a seat. Yep, there's seats up there. Bring it in, bring it in. Yes? So here's what I'll do. I've been thinking about that because if we send it out to everybody, it's not going to have the same approach. It's not going to have the same effect. Here's what I think is probably the easiest way, unless you guys come up with something different. We could try to send them out, but sometimes the file size is a little bit large. Is everybody in here on Facebook? Yeah. Okay. So on Facebook, you all should be in it. We have a group called Jared James Coaching. You're all a part of it because you're paid. I mean, you don't pay for it, but the company pays for it. There's a group called Jared James Coaching. The group, I'm going to upload them into the group. You can just download them. You'll see it in there. It'll be in the files. It'll be C21 affiliated, how to win listings. It'll be C21 affiliated, financial, whatever the name of the next one is. It'll be in there. You can download it for free, okay? If by any chance you're lost, you can't find it, you can't whatever, just go to my company's website, go to the contact us, send an email. Somebody from my team will get you what you need. If you don't see it in the group, but it will be in the group, okay? Make sense? So if you're lost and you're like, I don't even know how to get into a group, I don't know the difference between a group and a this or whatever, just, the last 20 seconds or 20 seconds you're never going to get back, but just email our company and we'll take care of you. Or email the company, message me on one of the platforms. Just find a way to get through to us and we'll get it over to you individually. But we will post it in the group for all of you to download, okay? All right, if you're sitting here, that means that you are in the class on how to win listings, right? It's so funny to me because if I were to ask you guys how many of you would like listings, how many of you would like consistent listings, every hand would go up, right? And yet, when I asked that, I was in front of a crowd recently, and there's probably 3,000 people there, similar to this room. And there's about 3,000 people there. And I said to the audience, how many of you would like to get more listings, right? What do you think happened? Everybody just spazzing out. We want listings. We want listings. And I said, how many of you have a specific strategy you follow on a regular basis that if you raise your hand, I'm going to come call on you, and you're going to tell me what your consistent plan is for listings? 3,000 people in attendance. You want to guess how many hands went up? 2. And one was probably lying. There's one in every crowd that no matter what you say. Sometimes when I find that person, I start making stuff up, and I'm like, how many of you 3, pick one, master that thing. But what you can't do is you can't leave here and just keep hoping. Okay? Hope my phone rings. Hope I get a new, hope. When you run a hope business, what happens with your business? It's a roller coaster. Market goes up, you go up. Market goes down, you go down. It doesn't work, right? And yet there are very specific things. I'm going to cover today, I'm going to start a little old school, then we're going to go new school, we're going to go everything in between. But what I want you to understand is every single thing that I cover works. We have thousands of students all over the world. I would not waste your time talking about something that doesn't work, okay? So it's just a matter of, and you need to remember this, if it works for someone, it can work for you, period. If it can work for someone, it can work for you. But you need to figure out what's the best use based on what I do. Some of you are great prospectors. Some of you are terrible some of you are great with people. Some of you are great on the internet. Some of you are great. What do you do well? Let's leverage that first before we start trying to master 7 different things. Sound good? You guys in? Awesome. All of that, and I got 8 of you in agreement. This is going to go really well, okay? It's the after lunch crowd, okay? All right, so first things first, guys, there's 3 ways to get new business, right? Number 1, you can wait for it, right? That's what a lot of us do. We're masters of that, okay? Number 2, we can pay for it. And this always cracks me up because people are like, I don't pay for leads. Bull crap, okay? You pay for leads with money or time. One or the other, okay? Either one of those can work. Whether you pay with money, pay with time, I'd like to see you doing both, but we pay for leads regardless, okay? And the third one is you make it happen. I'm going to talk a lot today about different ways to make it happen, okay? First way, very simple, something you all know well, and again, you're going to get copies of all of this. You can use your email database with what you proactively send out to them, okay? Now, this is not only available on the slides, but if you go to my Instagram profile, @JaredJamesToday, that's your profile when @JaredJames isn't available 11 years ago. @JaredJamesToday, one of the actual posts on there are these. You can just go download them from there if you want. If not, they're also going to be on these slides, okay? So here's a couple of examples of ones that you can use to send out to your database. Subject, you won't believe this. Notice when it comes to subjects, they're always things that are like catchy. They've got to grab them, right? You won't believe this. You won't believe this, but I've got 2 buyers looking for a home in blank that are ready, willing, and able to go. But unfortunately, due to extremely low inventory, we've been unable to find them anything, and that's why I'm reaching out to you. Next line. Can you do me a favor? If you or anyone you know is even considering selling, can you let me know right away? I may be able to sell their house without it ever hitting the market. Okay? Now that verbiage right there is verbiage that as we start to go through things, that's like COVID-style language. You don't have to have a ton of people through your house. We could potentially do this without it ever even hitting the market. What you're going to notice is that language is used over and over and over again in various types of prospecting. Why? Because it works. Like, you might be saying this to people 50 different times and get tired of saying it, but what you have to remember is that you might be saying it for the 50th time, but it's the first time that that recipient is what? I get friends that ask me all the time during this time of the season, convention season I call it, where I'm doing a lot of events, and they're like, don't you get tired of saying the same thing? Don't you get tired of doing the same topic? Don't you get, and I'm like, well, it's, I change it up everywhere, different audiences, you have some fun, but I never look at it like that, right? I don't look at it as the 1,000th time I've presented whatever keynote it is. It's the first time that the people in that audience have what? Heard it. Like that's how you have to look at it. That verbiage, if you or anyone you know is even considering selling, can you please let me know right away? I may be able to sell your house without it ever hitting the market. Is verbiage that, look, real estate 101, success in real estate, say the right thing to the right people enough times. If you do that in real estate, you win. The right thing to the right people enough times, over and over and over again, right? Closed mouth doesn't get fed. And so that kind of verbiage you're going to see over and over again. Next one. By the way, all of these emails are ones that like our students are using on a regular basis. They're generating sellers on it. Like they all work, okay? Here's one. Wow, who knew that Zillow could be so off? Do you think that gets some opens? Throw Zillow in anything, you'll get opens, okay? Guys, if you have an open seat, raise your hand. Just so, guys, there are seats if you want to sit. There's seats up here. Raise your hand if there's open seat, guys. If you want to sit, there are seats. Feel free. Don't worry about it. Okay, who knew that Zillow could be so off? Hi, first name. The market is crazy right now. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. In fact, did you know the former CEO of Zillow sold his home for more than 40% less than his estimate? Who knew that Zillow was so inaccurate? Here's the good news. If you or a friend wants to know the true value of their home or a house they're considering buying, just reply to this email with the address, and I'll let you know what it's really worth. That's it. Nice and simple. Watch how people reply. Next one. I'm ready to solve a dilemma you might have. Okay? And they're like, well, what's that problem? Let's see what it says. Hi, so-and-so. As you may or may not know, we have a serious inventory problem here in blank. More importantly, it may be causing a dilemma for you or someone that you know that I'm ready to solve for you. What is that dilemma? You may want to sell your home but are unsure you can find another one worthy of moving into. Anybody run into that yet? If not, you are not working with active clients, right? It's everywhere. For that reason, I've decided to offer my services free of charge to keep an eye out for you and what you might be looking for, as if that usually costs money, which includes notifying you of off-market properties when they are brought to my attention. Why am I saying that? These are buzzwords that they like to hear, right? Off-market properties, they want to hear that, okay? I only do this for my top clients, so please reply to this email with your needs ASAP to reserve your spot atop my list. What's that called? That's called scarcity, right? You want to be at the top of the list? First come, first serve. You want to be on there? Who's replying first? You want to know properties coming up? You send that out. I look forward to hearing from you. Simple approach. You can't do this every day. This is something you send out once every 2 weeks, something like that. You don't, mix them up, mix and match them. It draws potential seller leads. How many times have you guys heard me say visibility trumps ability? Right? You got to be an option. You got to be visible. So proactively put it out to people and be visible. Next one. You have to have a compelling call to action. Your phone number is not a compelling call to action, okay? Compelling call to action, for example, how many of you have seen the guaranteed sale program? Sell your house in 30 days and a lot of you get angry with them and you're like, oh, it's such bull crap. It's the top agents in the country, it's what they do. We personally coach who was the #1 agent in the country, okay? And that was his main draw, guaranteed sale program. We'll sell it in 30 days or we'll buy it. Now, here's the way those programs work. In order for you to take advantage of it, you have to price it at the price we say. You have to agree to reduce every 7 days at the price reduction we say you have to do. By the time it's at the 30 days, if it's not sold, you're dying to buy that property, okay? But what that does is it gets you in the door because all they see is 30 days, visibility, right? So the guy that we coached that did that was #1 in the country, listed property after property after property, putting out that kind of a call to action. Guess how many times people took advantage of the guaranteed sale program? Rhymes with hero. Not one time. Got them in the door, over, and then once they heard about the program, or you can do the traditional route, but now he's an option. And they're like, yeah, I think I'd rather do the traditional. Awesome, either one's fine. See how it works? What about, you know what? Look at that instant offer there. Call to action. Here's an interesting point. When polled recently, 93% of all sellers said that they would prefer to have an instant offer, while less than 1% actually accept an instant offer. So you look at a company like Zillow and these others that do instant offer, but really it's not so they can buy the house, it's so they can sell the leads back to who? And we get ticked, oh, they're just selling us, they're whatever, but we never actually follow what they're doing. And you're like, well, I can't do an instant offer program. I don't have that kind of money. You don't need that kind of money. In every single area, there are investment groups. In most areas, they're called RIAs, Real Estate Investor Association, REIA. In some areas, they're called something different. If you look up your national RIA, nationalreia.com, it'll show you the local ones in your area, or if there's other ones called something else. Why wouldn't you go to the local investment meetings? They're on monthly, okay? Go start meeting investors. All these people that pay cash, but it's not really cash. It's hard money through a hard money lender. It's a line of credit through a hard money lender. Why wouldn't you go make deals with them, tell them that you find properties all the time, you do programs like Instant Offer, and make a deal with 5 different investors that whenever you bring a property to them, they'll give you an offer on that property within 24 hours. Now you have 5 investors you just made an agreement with that costs you nothing, but you're able to market now that you have an Instant Offer program to your marketplace, which differentiates you from everyone else. Every time you get in the door and they want an instant offer, even though less than 1% of the time they're going to accept it, you go to your investors, you have 5 offers within 24 hours, 99.5% of the time they never accept it, and now you list the house traditionally. can we just listen to the consumer? 93% want an instant offer. And we're sitting back here still going, oh, who wants to sell? I don't know. Who wants to sell? What do I do here? Who wants to sell? Listen to, do you know why Zillow dominated Realtor.com? And I love Realtor.com. Like the people who run it are friends of mine. A bunch of my friends got laid off there. Do you know why Zillow won and dominated them? Because Realtor.com did what you wanted. Zillow did what the consumer wanted. Didn't care about you. Guess who won? You got to listen to your consumer. 93% want an instant offer. How many of you right now, don't lie to me, I'm going to go check out your site afterwards. Right now, offer and promote an instant offer program. Did this thing go off? Stop working? What happened? 93% of all sellers want it, and not one hand just went up in this room. Wake up. This is why you can take certain people, put them in any markets, and they'll dominate everyone in this room. Because they're paying attention to the consumer, right? So use this as a wake-up call. It's not that difficult. You could have an instant offer program by next week, okay? Now again, you want to get very practical? Go in that group I told you about on Facebook, Jared James Coaching, the group. Go into that group. If you're not a member yet, just join. It's 18,000 agents from all over the world. No spam, no local listings, no, none of that. It's just networking, referrals, people asking questions and being answered. Go into the search in that group, put an instant offer, and go look at the threads from other people on what they've done. Look at the way they've marketed it. Pull the way that they've marketed it, right? Like literally take a copy of it. Go to Upwork.com or Fiverr.com, Fiverr. Hire a a graphic designer from another country for $10. Have them copy exactly what that agent did with your branding, your logo, within 24 hours, you have an instant offer program. Or you can overthink it.
Can we just call you for the money?
Yeah. I covered in the first one certified pre-owned homes. I'm going to go a little bit on the quick here because we got a lot to cover. But there's just a lot of things you can do here, okay? Next one. Let's talk about social posts, okay? There's certain posts that you can post that actually create activity. They create leads, right? So like you need to make these, because these were written originally during COVID, but you can make these for right now, right? So here's one post. Let's get real about 2021. Let's get real about 2022. After sitting at home during COVID, what's 3 non-negotiables your next house has to have that your current one doesn't? Now, the way the Facebook and Instagram algorithm works, it doesn't do anything when people like your post or heart your post. It's all about comments. So you need people to comment. And the more people that comment, here's the 3 things they need, here's the whatever, what happens with that post? What happens with the algorithm? More. 9 out of 10 of them might just be joking around. The next one won't have my spouse in it. The next one, that's all helping you. It's all making it go to more people, okay? And 1 out of 10 is going to be someone who's absolutely thinking of going. And watch how many hundreds of comments you get, okay? If I told you guys the number of people who message me after seeing stupid, simple stuff like this, and then they send me a thing and they're like, holy crap, I got 230 comments, and they're shocked. I don't know whether to feel happy for them or be offended that they're so surprised it worked. Okay? I'm like, well, what did you think we're doing here? Like, what? Okay? Here's another one. Hey, I'm doing a little research. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to sell your current home if I brought you the right buyer at a great price? Watch what people start posting. 7, 9, 8, 10. What do you think you need to do with those 8 to 10s? That's called a DM, direct message. Hey, are you serious? A 9? It's actually, would you like to know what your property's worth right now? What are you doing? You're engaging, you're creating conversation that came from nowhere, right? And when you look at your business, that's how you have to think about your business. Like, you don't just hope it does well, right? God never created a company. He never created a chair, right? There's materials, we imagine, and then we make things happen. See how that works? And so in the same way, you've got to look at your business that way. How do you make it happen, okay? Next one. I'm going to skip over some of these. How about using your stories? Any of you on Instagram? Yes? Yeah. It's a small social platform. Underutilized polls. When you do stories, by the way, stories are those little circles, right? They get way more engagement than regular posts. They're like the best thing going on social, okay? But Instagram specifically promotes polls. They want people to see polls. Now, when you put a poll up on one of your stories and it says something like this, have you had thoughts of selling the next 12 months? Very simple. The difference between stories and your regular post, stories disappear in 24 hours. So you're not going to annoy people by posting similar things. Whereas if you just post a new listing at Nobody Cares Street every day on your regular profile, people are like, I'm done with you. They silence you. They don't want to see it, right? But when you post this or something similar to this, right, what happens is throughout the day, people answer the poll. They engage. They like to do that. When you go to your story, you swipe up. It shows you who said yes, who said no, okay? Now, here's the beauty in this. When I post a poll, right, I'm probably going to get more responses than you because my audience is not local real estate. My audience is the world, right? You don't need 400 votes or whatever. If you get 7 votes and 6 of them say no and 1 of them says yes, you just created a seller lead. Do you see that? Now imagine, because these disappear every 24 hours, if you posted a similar question 3 times a week. We're just consistent. And you're creating 2 leads a week off of something that's completely free. You see how that works? Consistency. We last year, so next week we're doing, anybody coming to the Advance next week in Nashville? Hate your guts. So next week we have our event. A lot of people there. Nobody in this room apparently. But so next year we do an event every year, the Jared James Advance, right? And next week it's in Nashville. Last year we had to do it virtually. I rented out a mega church, did a, perform for the camera basically, right? And when we were leading up to that, I would post on a regular basis, and a lot of you who follow me saw this, where I would post on a regular basis story polls where I would say things like, been on the fence about getting a virtual registration, but haven't moved forward, and people are like, yes, no, whatever it was. I would post things like that on a regular basis, right? At the end of the 24 hours, I would get the list of who said yes, who said no. I would give it to my salespeople. They would come up with a promo and reach out to those people. We sold hundreds of registrations from doing that, okay? It's just consistency, consistency. It's all available to you. Or you can sit in this room and go, I just don't understand that stuff. I didn't grow up with social. Who did? Who grew up with social? There you go. Everybody hates it. Great way to win the audience over. Guys, I didn't grow up driving. Figured it out. See what I'm saying? It's not an excuse. You got me? Okay? So there's another one for you. What about, here's a good one. How about so every time we have a listing, every time we have a listing in an area, every time it's an opportunity for more business, right? But here's how. First off, you know that old school, send out the mailer things? People actually look at those, okay? You know why? Because they care about their neighbor's property, okay? They look at those, they care about those, they, whatever, right? They also, because a lot of people stop doing them, so it's different, right? But here's the thing. When you're sending that stuff out, just listed, just sold, just whatever it is, can we just make a pact in here and stop creating the Fsbo market? Do you know who's creating the Fsbo market? Fsbo, Fsbo, fastest, shortest business opportunity, for sale by owner, okay? Do you know who's creating it? You are. Every time you send out one of those things to a neighborhood, 37,000 offers in 19 seconds, $1 million over asking. Every person in the area is going, what the hell do I need you for? Fsbo all day long. And then you're like, why do they keep trying to go? I don't understand why they're trying to go. Because of you. That's why. So you need to have a very strong call to action we'll get to in a second, but you also need to give yourself credit and stop creating the Fsbo market, right? So we're going to say something like, was able to generate enough interest to create multiple offers. Who gets the credit for that? Was able to generate, right? To create enough interest to create multiple offers and negotiate a sales price above asking. Here's the call to action. Did you know that this sale may have changed the value of your home? Contact me right away if you'd like to know how it's changed. So that's communication 101. It's not what you say that matters, it's what people... Okay, now when I send that out, I'm not looking for the 49 no's, the 49 people who aren't looking at this. I'm looking for the one what? And when I say to them, this may have changed the value of your property, did they hear that their value went up or down? Did I say that? I did not. Strong call to action. Use the things that you know people's eyeballs are they're actually paying attention, and don't just say, braggadocious, whatever about, 37,000 offers and call me today. Waste. It's an absolute waste. okay? Give yourself credit in a humble brag kind of a way, and then strong call to action. You're reaching out for those individual people. Make sense? Next up. How about this? Here's a very common one. What time am I done, guys? 2:45? Oh, we are going to fly. Okay. So here's a step by step by step. So you all know you sell a property with someone, you sell their property, put up a social post, right? It looks good. It's a good idea. But here's the deal. Again, step by step. Number one, when you put up the picture, you're in the picture with them, okay? You need to be in the middle, okay? Getting too close, very Me Too movement, like just get on them and get in that picture, okay? Like they need to, you need to be seen in that picture, okay? But here's the deal. Those posts, when it comes to new homes, or when it comes to new babies, when it comes to marriages, when it comes to engagements, do they get a little bit of engagement or a lot of engagement? Okay, why is that? Because in the algorithm for Facebook and Instagram, there are certain words that trigger the algorithm. One of them is congratulations, okay? If you want any of your posts to do well in the future, just go write congrats in your own comments, okay? I'm half kidding. But when you put something up like that and people start saying congrats, 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 have you ever noticed how they get hundreds of comments and they get, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your people or their people to see it? Their people. Because your business grows when it goes outside of your sphere, right? So here's what I'm going to do. When I put that post up, I'm going to say something very nice about them. I'm going to be in the picture, and I'm going to say congrats to them. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you. You guys are amazing. I'm going to miss you, blah, 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 whatever. And then I'm going to go call to action. And I'm going to go, this means I have room for one more seller. Who do you know? Question mark. Now, I'm not going to tag them yet. My hope is that they share it to their people, correct? And I want them to see me in the picture. I want them to see me say, I've got room for one more. Who do you know, right? And I want them to share it, and I want them to say amazing things about me so their people see it. So when I post it on closing day, why am I not going to tag them? Because they're stressed. They might not even see the post. We hope they see it and they share it, but they're in moving day. They're stressed out of their minds. So I'm going to post it, hope they see it, and hope that they share it. But if they don't, I'm going to wait 3 days, and then I'm going to tag them in the picture after the fact. And 3 days later, when they've now calmed down, they've now gotten through the move, they've now whatever, they're going to see it, see the tag, and then what happens? Now they share it. And then what happens in the comments when they share it? Because all their people see that they've bought a new home, all their people, and what do all their people now see? You. And what is the comment all of them see? This means I've got room for one. Do you see why you don't tag it first? It's very specific, guys. Little things make all the difference in the world, okay? Let's go next. Here's a good one. I mean, they're all a good one, but you know what I'm saying. Not like that crap I was talking about before. Okay. Number one contributor to people's wealth. Number one contributor to people's retirement. Number one contributor to people's net worth. Number one is real estate, okay? What do you sell? Okay, any of you have stocks, mutual funds, anything with a financial advisor? Do they not give you a yearly update on your portfolio? Okay, so what you need to do is every single time you close with someone, you're going to put a reminder in your calendar or in your CRM that 1 year from now you're going to reach out to them, and you're not going to say, hey, just wanted to give you an updated value of your home. You know what you're going to say? I'm going to give you an updated value of your portfolio. Why am I saying portfolio? Does portfolio speak to one home or multiple homes? Multiple homes. And what I'm going to do, has the market gone up or down in the last 5 years? I'm going to give them a call and say, hey, just wanted to give you a quick update on the value of your portfolio. And now they're like, Mom would be proud here. I got a portfolio, okay? Said I'd never amount to anything. I got a portfolio, okay? Yeah, I want to give you a quick update on the value of your portfolio. You may not be aware of this, but since you bought last year, you've got about $38,000 in equity. Did you know that if we took about $22,000 of that, put it towards this two-family that's on the market right now, you could generate about $1,250 a month in net revenue? And they're like, what? I could? Now, you just became more valuable than someone who just opens doors for them. Not only are you now selling more properties because now they realize they can be an investor because they've got to add to their portfolio, right? But the verbiage you're using is making them think larger than that one place. Make sense? Do you know how many homes our students have sold doing that kind of stuff? Portfolio, every year. And by the way, if you haven't done that already, all the people from the past that you don't already have on this automatic 1 year from now we reach out, give you a value of your portfolio, you now have a reason to touch base with every single one of them. Watch how valuable it is. I don't have time to do that. I'd love to follow you around and see what you have time for. Okay? There's nothing more valuable. Call every single one of your past people between now and the end of the year. Hey, just wanted to reach out, how's family, whatever. I wanted to give you an update on the value of your portfolio. Do a quick little valuation like, hey, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you've got like 100,000. Do you know what the average equity in the American home is today? It's over $200,000. Average. Average. I think it's like $249,000. I was just talking to the guy that runs Keeping Current Matters, if any of you know them. They're apparently more popular than my advance next week, so I'll get over it, guys, eventually. So average client's got like $249,000. You know how many properties they could buy? A lot of them want to invest. A lot of them want to expand their portfolio. A lot of them, they're spending all day watching HGTV and House Hunters and flipping everything and whatever. Didn't realize they could. So be more valuable than somebody who just waits for them to call you. Portfolio. Let's look at the next one. Here's another good one. So that's for your past clients, right? How many of you have people in your database that are not past clients? Meaning you've never actually done business with them, but they're in your database. Okay, every one of you should be saying yes right now, okay? So here's the strategy. 5 people a day you're going to pull from your database. You are going to do a one-to-one CMA for them, but you're going to do it video style, and here's how you're going to do it, step by step. You are going to go to Google, and you are going to type in Google Earth. Guess what's going to come up when you type Google Earth? Anyone want to take a guess? That's right, Google Earth. You're going to click on Google Earth. You're going to see a button that says Launch Google Earth. Anyone want to take a guess? It's going to launch Google Earth. When you launch Google Earth, which is a free tool, you have the ability to type into the search any address you want in the world. And it's got satellites over it. And now you can zoom in, and you can go around the property, and it's a free tool, Google Earth, okay? 5 people a day, I want you to do one-to-one videos. Get on Zoom, get on BombBomb, get on one of these tools where you can do a screen share of your video, put in their address, and start shooting a video, recording it over their home, zooming into different parts. I see you did some work here, Here's an updated value of your home. I'd have to actually get in to get the real value, but here's the one-to-one with 5 people a day. Shoot 5 of those Google Earth over their property. Here's why you're doing Google Earth, by the way. Do you think when people see a video over their home, do you think that the number of people who watch that video goes up or down? Way up. You're like, what is this? 5 people a day, one-to-one Google Earth videos with the value of their home, a roundabout value of their home, right? I taught this to our coaches about 4 months ago. And one of our coaches came to me, she didn't come to me, she sent me a message 10 days later. And she said, Jared, I started doing what you said. I shot 5 of these a day for the last 10 days. She said, I've already listed 2 properties, and I'm going on another listing presentation tomorrow for a 3rd. It's been 10 days. She goes, what the heck have I been doing this whole time? See how it works? Just make it happen. Make visibility. Make sense? It's something every single one of you can do. You're not familiar with Google Earth. You're not familiar with how to screen share. You're not familiar with how to whatever. Go screw up. That's how you learn. Okay? Or you can step back and go, I'm not really sure how to do that, so I'm just going to sit around. Okay? Just go learn it. Remember when you got the iPhone? And you're like, it's not a smartphone, it's a stupid phone. Everyone's more stupid. You all know what I'm talking about, right? This thing's so stupid, whatever. And then your grandkids got FaceTime. And now you can't live without it. See what I'm saying? It's just repetition. Repetition. The world's changing, which means you have to what? Change. Look, guys, I get it. I hate change as much as anybody else, right? I get it. But guess who doesn't care? No. Nobody. Nobody cares, okay? The world's changing. It is what it is, okay? Next one. Here's another video you can do. Look up, okay, you're going to do a video. And in the video, the screenshot is going to be you holding up 2 numbers. The email, the subject is going to say, find out what these 2 numbers have to do with the value of your home. Why am I saying that? Because people care about the value of their home. So then they see that message, they open it, they see a video with you holding 2 numbers, and they're like, what does that mean? What are these 2 numbers? Do you know what those 2 numbers are going to be? One is going to be the number of appreciation in home values nationwide, and one is going to be the value of properties appreciation locally. And then you can do a little video talking about what's happened nationally, what's happened locally, what it can mean for you, what it can, that's it. Now they're watching. Visibility. You guys see how this works? Visibility, visibility, visibility. Let's look at another one. What time do I got, guys? 600 seconds. That's how I'm going to think about that. 600 seconds. Okay. That sounds like a lot longer, right? So this one, guys, I've covered several times when I've been here before, but doesn't mean any of you are doing it, okay? This is one of my favorite ways to create listings that are, it's so simple, and yet it just works, okay? New listing prospecting letter. This letter is on your coaching dashboard that you all have access to. If you don't have your credentials, your username and password for our Jared James virtual coaching dashboard, go to your manager, get your credentials. You all have access, okay? When you go there, there's going to be a thing called the new listing prospecting letter. New listing prospecting letter is a letter that basically works off the idea that statistically, when a home is listed, within 30 days, another home in the area gets listed. Within 6 months, 2 to 3 more get listed. Can I just debunk a little theory a lot of you have? Oh, here you go. How many of you think there's low inventory? Raise your hand if you think there's low inventory. Go ahead, raise your hand. Low inventory. Go ahead. You feel like you're getting set up right now? Hey guys, inventory is only low when you don't have the listings. More homes sold this year than last year. That doesn't sound like low inventory. That sounds like high demand, right? Inventory is only low when you don't have the what? When you're the listing dominator in the area, inventory is just fine, okay? You can't tell me there's low inventory when more homes have sold this year than last year. Isn't that the narrative you hear, though? Low inventory, no, there's not. No, there's not. High demand, okay? So what has to happen is you have to have the listings. So this thing is a letter that goes out, and here's what has to happen. Step by step, whether it's you, your assistant, your whatever. You need to go into your MLS, save a search as if you're a buyer for every neighborhood that you want listings in. Why? Because when a listing comes up in that area, who's going to be notified? Now, when you're notified, what does that mean is going to happen in the next 30 days? What's that mean is going to happen in the next 6 months? So now we're notified, and now we're going to send to the area this letter. Okay? Now, you could send it through traditional means. You can go to USPS.com, United States Postal Service. Use a service called EDDM, Every Door Direct Mail. They will mail out to mailing routes with no postage, much cheaper. Okay? So you can go and do that. But what you're going to do is every time a property comes up in an area you want a listing, you're going to go get the area you want to send to. You're going to send this letter. And what this letter is, and by the way, does it matter if it was your listing or not? No. Doesn't matter one bit. That listing agent doesn't own everything else. So you're going to send a letter out and just go, hey, just wanted to let you know that your neighbor's property was just listed over at blank. Did I say I listed it? No. Did I start with, hey, my name is so-and-so and I work at C21 Affiliated. I'm a 5-star bowling champion. And in 2018, I was a top producer. Nobody cares. Well, it's just you look at people's signatures, right? Top producer, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, not 2020. It's just stupid. Like, nobody cares. They give awards out in real estate for breathing, you know? I mean, could the standards get any lower? You know, seriously, like, it's just the truth. Nobody cares about that stuff. So we're starting with, what are we starting with? Your neighbor's property just came up. Because do they care about that? Do they care about us? No, okay? Neighbor's property came up over at blank. Thought you might want more information on it. We can give them information. It's publicly available information. More importantly, you may not be aware, but your neighbor's property being listed may have changed the value of yours. Would you like to know how it may have changed? Do you hear the verbiage? Remember, communication 101, not what I say, what they hear, right? And am I looking for the 49 no's? I'm looking for the one that's going to pop. The one, right? And that one that pops, we're like, oh, shoot, there it is. Like, you do that. What would your business look like if either you yourself or if you hired a part-time VA, this is all they did, for an hour a day, they just sent out. What would it look like if you were generating 4 more listing appointments a week just because you had this on a system? What would it look like? There's no reason every one of you can't do that. Now, most of you won't. That's the truth. What it takes to separate yourself from everybody else in this room is not a lot. Just show up. That's it. Right? I wrote a book one time called Get Out of Your Way, and the basic premise was, most of us, the issue is not that we don't know what to do. We just don't do it. Right? I mean, I went to the gym this morning. I didn't see a lot of you. We all know that we should exercise, right? It's great that we know it. We just don't do it. You see? Like, it doesn't take that much to separate yourself, okay? So there's another one. Number one way to get sellers. We all complain about having buyers. I don't want another buyer. I don't want. Number one way to get sellers is buyers, okay? If you want to catch the mice, you got to have the cheese, right? You want shark, you got to chum. I don't know. But here's what we do. So we have these letters are all available to you, okay? Every action you have with a buyer is an opportunity to get sellers, okay? So you go show a neighborhood to a buyer. They don't buy the property. That means that that property was what? Listed. What's going to happen within 30 days? So we send out this buyer neighborhood letter to the area. And it goes out to the neighbors and says, hey, I just showed your neighbor's property over at blank to my buyers, Johnny and Sandy. Unfortunately, it wasn't the perfect match for them, but as I'm sure you're not surprised, they absolutely love the neighborhood. What they're looking for is, and you describe every house in that neighborhood, right? Unfortunately, due to the low inventory, they've been unable to find anything, but they're ready, willing, and able to go. If you or anyone you know is even considering selling, you hear the verbiage again? If you or anyone you know is even considering selling, can you please let me know right away? I might be able to sell your house without it ever even hitting the market. And one after another, and you start generating people. They're like, oh my God, we might not even have to put on, we're thinking of selling. You get there first. What about when you have somebody makes an offer? Any of you had buyers made offers and there were other offers? Holy crap, right? That's an amazing opportunity. They made an offer on a property, which means it's what? We just did this, guys. It means that property's what? Listed. You got somebody looking in that area. Another one's going to pop up. So we have a letter that goes out. My buyers, so-and-so just made an offer on your neighbor's property. Unfortunately, due to the high demand, they were unable to, whatever. What they're looking, as I'm sure you're not surprised, they absolutely love the area. What they're looking for is describe every house in the neighborhood. If you or anyone you know is even considering selling, please let me know right away. I might be able to sell your house without ever even hitting the market. Consistency. Do it again and again and again. What's your business look like if you're doing that on a regular basis? Now, here's a good one. Okay. How many of you, when you have a listing, you have money you spend on that listing? You promote it, you put it in certain publications. How many of you would say that's true? Okay, how many of you have a budget for your buyers? And there's the problem. Because every buyer is an opportunity at what? Sellers. So here's what you need to do from now on, not just during COVID times. This is forevermore. Forevermore, okay? Every buyer you get gets a video. You can look at it like this. You can look into a professional camera, and you make a video, and you say, hey, everybody in so-and-so, or everybody in this town, or everybody whatever, I've got a buyer looking for a 3 to 4 bedroom, 1 to 2 bath, 1,500 to 2,000 square foot home in the so-and-so school district. If you or anyone you know is even considering selling, please let me know right away. I may be able to sell your home without it ever hitting the market. You shoot that video. Then you put it on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Cheapest dollar around today is YouTube. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube with a $20 budget. Again, don't know how to do it? Find a 13-year-old, okay? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, $20 budget. You promote that to your whole town. You can't promote to zip codes, but you can promote to towns and cities. Watch what happens. People are going to start commenting below, tagging their mom who's thinking of selling. They're going to start tagging their friend. They're going to DM you. That's direct message for anyone over 40. I had someone say to me recently, what's a dema? I was like, took me a second. That's what they said. I thought they were from Africa or something. Like I didn't understand the accent. So you put that in there, $20 budget. Watch how people start messaging you. Watch how people start, $20 budget. You have a budget for sellers. Why wouldn't? Now, is that proactive or reactive? It's proactive. You got to go get it. It's making sense, guys? There's things you can do on a regular basis. Do I have any more we can cover here? Okay, yes, here's a quick one. How much time do I have? Holy crap, we have 60 seconds. Okay, I think we all know expireds are not an opportunity right now. Can we agree on that? Short of an active murder in a listing, a property is not expiring, right? I mean, it's selling, okay? Some of you will catch up on that, an active murder. They're like, what? It's happening at the moment. But here's where the opportunity is. Go into your MLS, look up every expired property from the past 2 to 5 years that expired, was never relisted, never sold, okay? Most of them still want to sell. They just don't know. Why did they not sell the first time? You can make up all the things you want. What's always the reason? Price, okay? What's happened the last 2 to 5 years? They don't even know, but they can potentially get the price now. Look up the last 2 to 5 years in your market area, properties that expired, never relisted or sold. You're going to have a list of a very small number of properties. We have a thing on our dashboard called the Still Want to Sell campaign. You're going to send this letter out to those people. And it basically says something like, hey, I noticed you tried to sell in the past, whatever. There's many reasons why a property doesn't sell, but one of them is price. You may not be aware, but where the current market is right now, you may be able to get the price you want. If you'd like to see if that's a possibility, please reach out to me right away. I'm going to be at this number till 6 p.m. tonight. And it says whatever it says, right? We had one of our students contact me about 6 months ago. He followed this campaign. And he said to me, he goes, Jared, in my area, there were 33 properties that matched that criteria you said. He goes, I sent the letter to 33 of those properties. I listed 9 of them. Because nobody goes after them. And they could get what they wanted now. Okay? There's another strategy for you. I have to close, actually. What time is it? We got to close, yeah. Guys, we can go on and on. I'll tell you what I'll do, though, is I've got an actual video that does even more strategies for sellers. And I can't stress this to you guys enough. Please do not try to do every single thing. If you become an expert at 1 or 2, you'll be better off than you are right now. Does that make sense? We're going to take a quick break, and then I think we're doing the financial class in here. For everybody that was here the first time or wasn't here the first time, after this next class, I feel like an absolute jerk, but when it's over, I got to run. I got a flight to Toronto that is super tight. So, like, if anyone wants to say hello, let's do it in between. Let's do, because afterwards, I'm pulling a jerk move, and I got to get the heck out of here, okay? Sound good? All right, I'll see you guys in the next session.